So, Andy, when did you first realise you were passionate about music?
Well, okay, that was from a very early age because I was from a very musical family, and my mum was playing piano in the house all the time. And even though I wouldn't sing or play in front of everybody, by the time I hit my teens, it was all in there, and I wanted to be in rock bands and perform as much as I could, which led on to the amateur dramatic stage, of course, which led to the professional side of things. So it was, for me, it was very early on.
So, what really inspired you to pursue a career in musical theatre, and how did you get started?
Purely by accident, really, because I didn't go to drama school and I didn't have any formal tuition whatsoever. So it was very important for me to say this in this interview here, that there are other routes. I was very passionate about my amateur theatre, and so I ended up going for open auditions and pushing myself that way. And I was very fortunate to attend an open audition for Les Mis, and that is where I was cast in the show first time around.
So what are some of the most important skills and qualities you think a musical theatre performer needs to have?
Okay, well, I don't think it's any different from any other line of work, really. You've got to have a resilience there to carry on if things don't go your way. And in this business at the moment, certainly over the last couple of years, we've seen that with the pandemic, that we've had the hiatus in the whole industry. For anybody to battle through that, you've got to have a resilience, you've got to have a trust and a belief in yourself and what your qualities are to make you succeed.
Yeah, I mean, you said you had no formal training, so how did you develop those skills?
Okay, just by making sure that I concentrated on my own strengths and didn't worry about things that I couldn't do, just concentrate on the things that I wanted to do properly. And for me, that was being a musician and a singer and a performer. And I knew that I got those qualities in there. And any opportunity that I could, I made sure I was learning from people around me all the time. Anybody that inspired me, I could go in there and learn from them. So I had a very open book as far as that was concerned, and never cut anything off. I was always watching and learning all the time.
Okay, now how do you prepare for an audition, and what advice would you give to someone who's preparing themselves for their first audition?
Okay, well, for me, it was very, very important, and I think it harks back on what I've just said, to make sure that you concentrate on your own strengths. And so I did that. I didn't try and do things that I couldn't do. So if I was choosing a song or an audition piece, whatever it was, I felt I could do it. I could do it justice, and I was not trying to step outside of my own zone. That doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't step outside your comfort zone and push yourself, but for an audition, you need to make sure you're well prepared. That is it. You don't want to go into that audition thinking, I'm not too sure about this. That's just not going to cut it with your casting directors.
Okay, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your career, and how have you overcome them?
Well, in the industry, you will have times, unless you're extremely lucky, you will have times where you're going, where's my next job going to be? And so you've got to have that word again, resilience, to be a survivor, and to make sure that you've got backup plans, that you don't mind looking out for other work to get you through. And also, as I say, always be prepared for that next job, and never doubt your own ability. At some point in time, that's going to be very, very difficult to do. Certainly, we had that, as I've said, in the pandemic. It was really hard to think, when will we be back on tour again? When will I be performing again? But it's that trust and belief in yourself.
Well, that leads you on very well to the next question, which is how do you stay motivated and inspired as a performer?
Okay, well, for me, it's a dual thing. I'm also do some directing now, so as far as directing is concerned, I love seeing people on stage responding and delivering to the best of their ability. So for me, that I get a big buzz out of that, even though I'm not performing myself. As far as performing live is concerned, out on that stage, every show is completely different. And even back in the days when I was in Les Miserables, and performing, those 8-show-a-week runs, and when I was doing chess in Evita, 8 shows a week isn't the same shows. They're all different. The audience are always different. The orchestral, something might happen in the orchestrations, the tempos. It's obviously a little bit different if you do everything to click and stuff like that. Then you have to motivate yourself through the vocals. but that live impact of delivering a live musical performance to an audience should give you the buzz automatically every single night without you having to remind yourself that you're in a very, very privileged position as a performer.
So what would you say was your proudest musical theatre moment?
I'm not sure really. I've had lots of them. In terms of, I've had moments that have meant a lot to me, but I think to keep this production going now, which I'm in at the moment, called Beyond the Barricade, which came out of Les Miserables with the 4 singers that we've got on stage in Beyond the Barricade, coming out of that show and keeping it running for 25 years, which is what we're heading into now. That's a major achievement, and to deliver after our 10th anniversary concert, a gig at the Royal Albert Hall, that was massive for me, and a night I'll never forget. Also, going all over the world and being fortunate enough to sing, those moments are all very special and ones I'll never take for granted.
So are you still learning as you perform?
Absolutely. Every single show is, as I say, it's different. You have to have your wits about you. You have to have that passion as well to deliver. And it's that moment, that energized moment. As soon as you take it for granted that you're up on that stage and not working hard to deliver whatever you're doing, whether it's a monologue, an acting piece, singing, dancing, it doesn't matter. You have to make sure you're energized, and I always make sure I'm like that every single moment I'm on stage. So
what do you think makes a great musical theatre performance, and how do you strive to achieve that level of excellence in your own work?
Okay, well, really going back to the fact that why I went into directing and enjoy directing so much is because there's a truth and a passion about what you're doing, and I like to see that in other people. And if I'm demanding it from other people, then I'll do it myself. So when I'm looking at a performer doing something, whatever it may be, I want to see that truth and honesty in their performance, and an the willingness for them to deliver to me a story, anything, so that when I'm watching them, I truly believe what they're doing. And that to me is all you can do for me to say well done to another performer up there on stage.
So who inspires you today?
I don't. Do you know what? I don't really know who. There's not one person that would inspire me. I think going back into the people I've worked with in the past have inspired me to be where I am today, and the people around me, the musicians around me, the people that booked the show, the passion that they show, my fellow performers in Beyond the Barricade, my fellow actors. So there's a lot of people that inspire me. That I wouldn't say there's just one. Anybody that shows passion and an enthusiasm to the degree that I do is always going to inspire me.
Okay, and finally, what advice would you give to young people who are passionate about musical theatre and want to pursue a career in the field?
Okay, if you truly work hard, then you should never be in a position that anybody should tell you that you cannot do it. It's very, very important not to lose sight of that. Your passion and your willingness to learn and achieve every single moment that you perform on stage is so, so, so important. And never let anybody tell you that you cannot do it.
Andy Reiss, thank you very much.
Thank you.